Hey everybody, welcome back to Comic Crow, and a few days ago I did this video talking about my thoughts on the Seth the Programmer grooming allegations, and my video is specifically talking about just those allegations. I gave some comments about the Clyde person, and well, I don't think there were that many people who are too happy with it, and I got a bunch of comments, and I thought about it and I realized, okay, I can definitely dive into this one a little bit deeper, but I'm pretty sure people aren't going to be very happy that I did because, well, I'm about to poke some holes into the story. So sit tight, wait till the end of the video if it's getting you mad. Believe me, it's kind of interesting. And again, I want to make this clear at the very start of the video. In no way do I think this makes Seth a good person. Even if you agree with everything I'm about to say, I don't want you to walk away from this video thinking that Seth is a good person or that Seth did nothing wrong. Seth seems like a pretty messed up individual. I'm going to stand on this hill that he's not a pedophile. So let's move on. Now I did this research with a good friend and a viewer of ours, but this was the earliest that he could find in terms of an accusation of Seth being a pedo, which is from 2018. Seth the Programmer is an arrogant little shit and thinks any argument he makes is correct, is an asshole, bitches at someone who disagrees with his points and tries to get them to debate him, and even tries to belittle the opposing side against him like he thinks he's tough shit. Dismisses something in a discussion with someone and tries to pull in a different argument on them, is possibly a fucking pedophile, and is basically hypocritical. Now, this is basically the first time we could find it being mentioned was 2018. And I think that potentially it could still refer to the satire girl, because the satire thing happened in 2017, and I believe she did say that she had spoken about it before coming out with her claims roughly a year ago. But I guess what really pisses me off, and it's the same thing that kind of upsets me with Clyde's video. I personally do not care how he treats people in a debate, how he treats his friends, if he's mean to them, if he pulls their hair, if he slaps them across the face. I really don't care when there is a claim of him being a pedo, right? That supersedes everything else. I really don't care about the other stuff in relation to that. If anybody else, well, actually, let me say this. If you disagree with me on that, I really need to understand why. I feel like one thing is dramatically much worse than the other thing. Now, what I have on the screen here, this is Satire's story, alleged victim of Seth. This was posted about a year ago to YouTube. I think it potentially is a re-upload, but this is her going over kind of her story, but specifically taking questions from people. And there's a few things that I noticed in here. One of them goes in relation to the Keemstar stream, but I'm going to play this clip for you. I want you to listen to it.
An inconsistency.
Apart from like Trini just saying it, which we've proven what Trini said, Trini's kind of exaggerated. I would like to see where I said that Seth was going to fly me out and fuck me. I've never said that. I would like to see where I said that Seth was going to fly me out and fuck me. I've never said that.
Okay, so this is something I've been trying to wrap my head around. She is saying that she never made the claim that Seth was going to try to fly her out and fuck her. Now, I noticed that this did not add up with what happened during Keem's stream, because she said quite the opposite. And also, this is from the Google Doc, and I wanted to check too, right? In the same conversation, Seth subsequently states that money isn't an issue when referring to the physical distance between them, implicitly suggesting he would fly her out to him or vice versa. This was an implication before, okay? It wasn't him directly making the claim. This was the Google Doc that was created using Satire's story as one of the foundations for it, by the way, okay? And in here, it's just an implication. During this thing that they did a year ago, it was something that she had never once said. Now, this is a year later on Keemstar's show.
To make sexual comments. He also insinuated in court that he wanted to fly me over to join one of his mods and that mod's girlfriend for a threesome.
I would like to see where I said that Seth was going to fly me out and fuck me. I've never said that.
Yeah. Oh my God. See, look, that's the thing. It's like one of those things that when you say it, that your first reaction is like, I want to kill the guy, right? Because like that's how you would think about it. But my problem is it actually doesn't add up with the Google Doc or her statements on the stream. In the past, she didn't seem comfortable with actually making that claim, but with everybody digging into him, she kind of just throws that back in there. I don't know how that matches up. I don't know how that adds up with what she said in the past because it's not consistent with her story. And another point is, because people are like, well, Seth admitted to doing this. Seth said he did it. Seth said he did it, and that's all that matters. If Seth admitted to doing that, I'm telling you, it wasn't part of her original story. Again, she flat out denied ever even making that claim.
I would like to see where I said that Seth was going to fly me out and fuck me. I've never said that.
At first, it was just an implication. Now it's specifically, no, he totally did it, and he wanted to do a three-way with me. I think it's false. I think it is. You can disagree. It's totally fine. But that would be an inconsistency. Now, I'm not going to talk about the satire person, okay? But for the people defending Clyde, I'm going to let Clyde talk about the satire person because about a year ago, Seth did this stream responding to these allegations. Again, I think this is a re-upload, but Clyde was with him. And Clyde was speaking out against satire and her character. Now, I understand people are going to say, whoa, Crow, you don't get it. Clyde was compiling evidence for years, and at the time he was only 1 year into his 2-year-long takedown plan, which he had been compiling evidence for 3 to 4 years. Guys, this is why I don't like this Clyde person. Okay, if he actually believes the satire girl, why the hell? If he's already decided to bury Seth at this point and already knows he's gonna do it, why? Oh, because Crow, the money, guys, pedophile. Okay, all right, pedophile. Pedophile is worse than all the other things that you are describing. Okay. It's substantially worse. So him doing this here, if he actually believes satire is Seth's victim, this should piss you off more than it pisses me off.
Now this is their fucking meat and potatoes. Satire. The meat and potatoes. Now Clyde can get into this, for sure. But, Clyde, explain your experience with satire, just real quick, because they're not going to bring you up, but just explain it real quick.
I mean, my recollection of that individual is that she's been turned into basically like a weapon to be used against you, even with, you know, the majority of the shit that's involved with her being completely false. It's extremely exaggerated. The brother of said individual is also a fucking massive weirdo that's like obsessed with coming after you for whatever reason, like wants to use his sister as a fucking tool just to like slander you, which is like bullshit. Like I think I remember at one stage the same individual admitted that the stuff that was, you know, you're accused of wasn't even true too. And then one of the main proprietors of this, Mr. Trini, like, is even on your side now. It's like, yeah,
he is.
How long is this going to go on for? Like, it's beyond like morally okay at this stage. And regardless of the fact that we're friends, like if this was to anybody else, like if this was a random Joe in like any of these Discord servers and I overheard this sort of like situation explained to myself, I would defend them because it's actually pretty stupid at this stage. Like how much she's still continuously being brought up like over 3 years later. It's old. And the evidence is fucking absolutely dumb. Like it's already been debunked plenty of times, and I'm sure you'll get into it too and explain even more. But like again, like I said, the main person who started a lot of this is on your side. Like, and so like, what is that?
Okay, so I just got to be very clear here. Again, if Clyde believes satire is telling the truth and Seth is guilty of being like a pedo and a groomer, okay, there is literally no defense for him sitting on that call with Seth, not only having his back, but working to discredit his accuser. All right? That's disgusting on every level. Now maybe it just doesn't upset you guys because, you know, Clyde came out and, you know, he explained how Seth, you know, literally was holding a gun to his head and threatening to murder him and his entire family and shoot his puppies. Seriously, what the hell is up with you guys? Okay, I really can't with this Clyde situation. Okay, Clyde seems like a bad person. Seth seems like a worse person. To be clear, Seth seems like an absolutely worse person. Clyde doesn't seem like a good person. Clyde seems like he just sat there. He was totally okay with all of this. He was just waiting for his time to kind of... And hey, you know, at the end of the day, I think Seth earned it. Just to be clear, right? Seth doesn't seem like a loyal person, so he shouldn't expect loyalty from anyone else. Now, there's one other thing from this stream, okay? And I'm going to condense this video because I don't think I'm going to have to make another one. Although if I do, I got a couple other things we can talk about. But it's this whole thing with Nate. Okay, and this idea that, you know, Seth's story with the Nate guy, it's all bullshit. It's another lie on top of all the other lies. And I'll be clear, I think Seth is a very dishonest person. When the allegations first came out, because he's not a very honest guy, the first thought in his head was just say it never happened, claim it's all false, etc., etc. When he couldn't deny it anymore, then he had to actually tell the truth. And even his story sounds like bullshit. But actually, there do seem to be some things that sort of back it up. So let me go back into that Google Doc. So this is the Nathan guy, the friend of Seth's. Now, according to Seth's story, he asked Satire for nudes, and she knew that it was about punking on this Nate guy. That's what Seth was doing. Seth was trying to make him jealous and screw with his head because, again, that sort of fits Seth's character being just a complete degenerate and treating his friends like garbage. Now, this Nathan guy sounds like a fucking degenerate too. To my understanding, he went to the same high school as Satire, so I would imagine that they are around the same age. I don't think Nate was an adult at this point, although I don't think that he's the biggest part of the story. Now, this is what I mean about Seth kind of telling us the truth with the whole Nate thing. Because it seems clear to me that as disgusting as these messages are, Nate is attracted to Satire. I don't mean that he wants to date her or treat her right. I mean, he has a physical attraction to her. He's sexualizing her. He's sexually harassing her. And he's constantly talking about things that he wants to do to her. That doesn't, I'm not saying that in a way that makes it okay, right? I could totally understand Satire being creeped out by all of this. But there was one specific message in here, right? And it was, where is it? Seth betrayed me and stole my thotty. Now I must take the warrior's revenge and prove I am the alpha male. Now that was June 21st, 2017. Now these are the same messages from this Google Doc, okay? With Satire. This is the one that Seth showed to Keemstar. It's the one originally in the Google Doc. It's the one where you can kind of see part of the conversation has been left out, okay? Seth, on May 16th, 2017, was having this conversation with Satire. And roughly a month later, Nate is publicly freaking out because Satire has been stolen by Nate. Seth has betrayed him, okay? And look, this could all be him joking too, all right? I really don't understand. I got to go by the messages just being in the Google Doc, but this is after he has the conversation with Satire. There you go. The whole story sounds stupid, okay? It really does, but I mean, you're gonna tell me that Seth seems like an intelligent individual, that he has normal interactions with people, that he isn't a piece of shit, and that he wouldn't go to somebody that he knows has a crush on someone or is attracted to someone in any way and decide to just screw with them for the sake of screwing with them. I mean, it seems right up his alley, to be honest. And the timeline here of the screenshots from the document themselves seem to kind of play into that. Now, I did say that I was going to talk to you about some inconsistencies in the story here. Seth basically said she would never work with Seth to punk somebody like this. Now, I'm going to play just a couple of clips from this from this conversation that she had, because she says that they're friends. She also says that they're not really good friends, and that she would never do this with Seth.
Or something, and that apparently we were trying to make him jealous. That's not true, because I didn't even really talk to Seth that often. And, you know, he tries to say that we're not really good friends, which was true. So I don't understand why we would sit there and concoct a plan to...
Sorry, it cuts out on audio there for a few seconds. But she said that, you know, she wouldn't work with Seth to do this because she barely talked to Seth. And Seth said they're not really good friends, and that's true. Okay? Now, there's a problem with her saying that.
Why didn't you block him right when he asked you for nudes? Like I said, I don't know if you have you, I don't know how old you are, but when you're, you know, 16 years old and you're going through a hard time, like, all I wanted was a friend, you know, and I didn't send any nudes. So, like...
She just said that they barely talked. They're not good friends. So the idea that when he asked her for a nude, she would just sit around and not leave because, you know, she really needed this friend who's not her friend, who she barely talks to. That doesn't actually line up. That doesn't actually make sense. But more importantly, if she was willing to sit around, even as Seth asked her for news, again, because apparently this happened on more than one occasion, by the way, and Seth was also, you know, sexually harassing her in the server for a while. But then also there was no way she would ever work with Seth to punk this Nate guy who's also, you know, sexually harassing her and being a prick and being creepy and being weird around her and talking about wanting to fist her and all this other stuff in the server. You're telling me that they stay friends with Seth, quote unquote, but they're not actually friends when Seth is asking her for nudes. But also, there's no way she would ever work with him to punk somebody because, you know, they're not good friends. Why would she ever work with him on that? It actually doesn't add up. It actually doesn't make sense. In fact, it's not like that was a slip of the tongue or that she made a mistake and, you know, that's not actually what she meant. Later on the stream, she actually says it again.
Go to the police immediately when he asked. Well, one, he was someone that, like, I would have at the time probably considered a friend. Like, and please tell me, like, how would you feel as a 16-year-old in that situation? Like, I didn't have mental...
And to be clear, I'm not blaming her as a 16-year-old if you know, she's actually being groomed, you know, not going to the police or not reporting it, or even you know, believing that, you know, she can't come out against Seth if that's actually the case. My problem is she already said at the start that they weren't good friends, that they barely talk, okay, as a defense for why she would never work with him to punk this Nate guy. But then later, as a defense for why she didn't come forward with this sooner, it was, well, you know, because we're friends. I thought he was a good friend of mine. Well, she doesn't say good friends. She just says friends at least good enough where if he is asking her for child porn, she's not going to speak up. Guys, these don't add up, okay? They don't make sense. Let me give you my theory, and it's going to piss people off, and that's perfectly fine. I don't think Seth was actually interested in satire in any physical type of way at all whatsoever. I understand satire is saying that on Keemstar's show. I think that on some level, she knows that that's false too. If I had to guess, satire has a very legitimate reason to absolutely hate Seth. Seth bullied her. Seth bullied her brother. Seth sexually harassed her. Seth, well, it turns out he does that to many people. Seth spread vile rumors about her online, probably ruined some friendships that she had with people, probably ruined her reputation. And as she said, people were calling her a whore. My problem is, I see every single reason why this girl would feel completely justified in painting Seth as a pedophile to make sure that he can never recover his reputation again, the same way he's done to so many people, destroyed their reputations, ruined their online persona, and then forced them to retreat into anonymity and obscurity. I mean, to be honest, I don't think that there's many people that dislike Seth who wouldn't say that that's justified to do to him. And that's where my problem is. It's never justified. When it comes right down to it, being a groomer, being a pedophile is something much worse than again, any of this other stuff going on with Seth. I don't care about any of the other stuff. It's specifically just this. And I've heard everything. I absolutely have. I've heard the legality arguments. I mean, look, guys, if you want to tell me, hey, him just asking is a crime and he can go to jail. Oh, okay, look, potentially, yeah, you're probably right. Potentially. If it would actually all go down and she actually went to the police, maybe you could actually get something done. I really doubt it. But if we want to talk about grooming, is he a groomer because of his conversation with this girl? Well, you know, Australia actually has a criminal statute for grooming. It's impossible to groom somebody under the age of 16 in Australia, where this girl lives. There you go. I can play the legality bullshit too. I think it's pointless. It's about morality. It's about the truth. It's about what actually happened here. And again, Seth is not a good person. Seth is a bad person. Seth has wronged many people for the dumbest of reasons. Okay, but he's just not a pedophile. So cope, be mad, hate bomb the video. I don't care.